Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, mostly humans. I'm Ruskeydoo.
And I'm Grey.
And this is Podcast76. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, that was quite some excitement on that intro.
We've been working on that intro for a while.
I wish I had. But let me tell you something. Do we have a show for you today?
Do we?
In fact, it's easier to say what's not in the show today than actually what's in the show.
What's not in the show?
That's also, what's not in the show? The apocalypse.
Uh-huh.
Not in the show.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Overwatch cures cancer.
Also not in the show notes. Interesting.
No, that's because it's a lie.
Uh-huh.
Entirely fabricated. Someone played Overwatch for 72 hours and transcended.
That doesn't surprise me. Do they mostly play Zenyatta?
No, this is a surprise, Hog.
Oh, wow. That actually, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah.
At first, you're like, anyway. What is actually in the show? Well, let me tell you. There's an upstate update. Yes, it's in the good part of town. There is Junkenstein's story. There is 35 million players. There is forums. There's a new spec mode. San Francisco Shock is a thing. And Blizz is suing a Chinese ripoff. I love rip-off games so much. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. But we'll get to that later.
Have you actually played any rip-off games?
No, I never play them. I just enjoy watching videos of them. And I don't want to give them money. That's really bad, right? But just the fact that they exist, I find strangely fascinating.
No, fair enough. I'm complete with you. I understand, but at the same time, it's like... I understand how you can be like, look at that thing.
I think it's partly... imagining yourself in the kind of position of one of the developers.
Yes.
Like, in fact, should we? No, we'll save it.
Okay. Are you sure? Because if it's good now, I kind of feel like you should just go with it.
It'll be good later, though.
Okay, no. If you think it'll still be good later, you know.
I do. I just...
Okay. Let's talk about the update. The update.
Yeah, because this is actually real and interesting and serious. And changes the game.
Yes. So, let's start off with Lucio. The speed boost that Lucio receives after completing a wall ride has been increased by 65%. But this was sort of due to a change they made to Lucio where you can no longer scroll jump and get super speed. So now what happens is everyone gets super speed when you leave a wall rather than just the people who use scroll jump.
Did it turn out that everyone was using scroll jump?
I think all the top players were, yeah.
So is this my excuse for why I was so bad at Lucio?
Sure.
Okay.
That's why. This is why.
Good.
Nothing else.
Right. I'm pretty sure that Jeff Goodman also said something about they were going to give Lucio extra height after he jumped off the wall. Because that's why Lucio was feeling so heavy.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, well. It's not in the show notes.
No. It's not in the... It's not in the developer notes either.
I'll be honest. Let me tell you how many times I've played Lucio since the update. Fucking none.
I haven't played since the Lucio. Oh no, I have played Lucio since the update, but only once.
Okay. Honestly, did you notice anything?
Well, no, but I'm not a Lucio main, so...
We're the worst people to judge this.
Well, no,
Mercy. What happened to Mercy?
Mercy had a couple of changes made to her. So first of all, Guardian Angel. Players can now glide past a targeted ally using the jump key. And the cooldown is no longer reset when Resurrection is activated. So for the second one, when you use your ult, you could fly to someone, activate your ult, and then it would
It's not even the ult, is it? Resurrect isn't the ult anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's the point.
It's just the ability.
Yeah, it's just the ability. But yeah, you'd fly to someone, resurrect them, and then fly away immediately rather than waiting for the 2-second cooldown. For the first one, it's less that you can glide past a targeted ally using the jump key. It's more that you can slingshot yourself past an ally using the jump key. It's a lot of mobility. It sounds
very much like a Spider-Man game. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a bad thing if one of Mercy's main things is that she's a super mobile character, and that's her main thing. But at the moment, she's just got too many things which could be her main thing, like her huge healing, and her huge res ability, and her huge mobility, and the fact that she's got the smallest hitbox in the game, except for, I think, Tracer. Yeah, she's got a lot of stuff going for her at the moment. Yeah.
But, I mean, okay, so the cooldown not resetting on Resurrect, that's pretty huge. It
means that if
on
someone...
Guardian Angel on Resurrect, you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that huge. I think it was a relatively edge case thing.
Okay, what it punishes is if someone's gone and died out of position.
Well, no, but here's the thing, right? If someone dies out of position and the Mercy goes to Resurrect, they should still die most of the time. Like, you should still be punished for getting out of position, right?
But this is more punished for being out of position,
which
makes
is good. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to break Mercy. I don't think it's going to make Mercy's play rate go down.
No, not at all. Secondly, Valkyrie no longer resets or reduces the Resurrection's cooldown. So it used to be that when you activated Mercy's new ult, it would instantly reset the Resurrection ability, and you would also get faster res. It would go down from 30 seconds down to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Instead, what happens is when you activate the Valkyrie ability, when you activate the ultimate, she gets an extra res, a bonus res, and you get it instantly. And you can actually stack 2 reses. So you could have, so you don't have to res, ult, res. You can actually just, ult,
wait
res,
for the
res.
ult, and then res.
Exactly.
How does that work with the cooldown on it?
What do you mean? I think it's just a very short cooldown. I think it's like 1 second or something. It's really short.
Yeah, but you get 2 charges, though.
Yes.
On the res, right?
Yes.
So when you hit 1 charge, does the cooldown start?
Yes.
But you've got 1 in the bank?
Yes, but then when you hit that second one, it starts again. The cooldown starts again.
Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And when you get that cooldown back, do you then get 2 reses?
No.
Or do you only get 1?
You just get 1.
Okay. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because otherwise you just have double res for the entire game.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, what I'd be really interested in a minute is, because I know that Mercy has a crazy play rate.
Yes.
But I want to know what her win-loss rate is. Like, when you're playing against a team without a Mercy, is it just like you get an extra 10% chance to win?
We could probably look that up on Overbuff or something.
Okay, because here's the thing. Blizzard haven't been like, oh my god, we need to change Mercy so hard right now. And that would suggest to me that, although everyone thinks Mercy is a must-pick, I wonder if she actually is a must-pick.
So she has the highest win rate in the... Oh no, she doesn't have the highest win rate in the game. Symmetra does.
Yeah. The kind of niche pick heroes will have the greatest win rate in the game,
So at
right?
the moment, Junkrat, Xenia, and Zenyatta, who are, I'd say, are not so niche at the moment, have a higher win rate.
It's interesting that Zen has a higher win rate than Mercy.
No,
yet Mercy's the healer that everyone thinks they need.
No, I don't think so, because I think Zenyatta actually kind of falls into that slightly specialist category. A lot of people, if you want to pick up a healer, will pick up Lucio if you really actually want to heal, whereas a good Zen usually stays on Zen.
Yeah, but for the Zen effect, you also get the thing where someone really wants to play a DPS, but they're going healer because you need a healer, so they pick Zen.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I'd love to know what Blizzard stats are, but we're probably never going to find out. Well, we might.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's very difficult to tell right now. Maybe it's just that like the amount of games that she's not in is so low that like
maybe. Oh yeah, because that's true. Like if Zenyatta's win rate is that high, but Zenyatta's always played alongside Mercy, then what does that really prove?
Exactly. And if it's always a Mercy mirror match as well, then like Mercy's win rate is going to be close to 50%.
But I do wonder though, like how big is the psychological effect of Mercy? Because everyone thinks that you need a Mercy, but do you?
I've played a couple of games without a Mercy and they've gone okay. The problem is that she's the best main healer at the moment and you need a main healer.
Yeah, that's true. She just does the most heals.
Yeah. Like her realistic heal rate is higher than Anna's theoretical heal rate. No. Her realistic heal rate is higher than Anna's realistic heal rate, even though Anna has a higher theoretical heal rate.
Although, I mean, in reflection, though, apparently at the top echelons of the game, Mercy is not a must pick.
No, I think that the ability to like chase a Mercy down and punish her has just got to be so much stronger when you're really, really good.
Yeah. In fact, I suspect that an element of it is also that Mercy's Resurrect is forgiving of errors. Like if someone gets picked when they shouldn't get picked, then you can just res them and you kind of, back in the game somewhat. So I think as you get to higher levels where less mistakes are made, possibly that's a factor. Anyway, the other interesting thing in the update is you can now is it called Battle.net? It's not, is it? It's Blizzard.net? Blizzard?
I think it's back to Battle.net theoretically.
Well, that's a mouthful. But anyway, who cares what it's called? You can now set yourself online, away, busy, or appear offline.
Yes, which I accidentally did instead of logging out recently and completely confused Rusky.
Yes. Well, I mean, there was just a lot of invite me to the group. I can't invite you to the group. What do you mean you can't invite me to the group? Etc. Etc.
Let me request an invite to the group. Oh, I see what's happened. I'm appear offline.
Yes. Although, it should be said, and in fact, this is part of the thing from the forums, there has been a glitch where if you select appear offline, it hasn't always worked.
It's a new feature. I'm not entirely surprised.
But just to let people know, if you desperately, desperately don't want your friends to see you playing Overwatch, for whatever reason, just know that it's not 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I think it's a good thing to have because sometimes you just don't want to feel the pressure to play with your friends. You just want to like chill and play by yourself. I think that's okay.
Yes, exactly. So that's the update. Next, Junkenstein's story. So weirdly, quite a while after all the Junkenstein hype and everything, they have now released. Well, it's not really a comic. Well, it kind of is a comic.
Well, it kind of is a comic.
It's like a massive spread of images.
Yeah.
It's like a comic without windows.
Well, there are windows. It's just four giant windows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, this tells the story of basically endless mode and why we have Widow, Torbjorn, Zenyatta, and Genji joining the thing.
Yes, except I want it to be noted that Genji does not have that skin, and I think it's quite frankly offensive that he doesn't.
It's odd, isn't it? I suspect they were thinking of adding that skin.
That must have been in the mix.
Maybe that's why this is so late, because they were like, well, we've got the wrong skin on it. Are we going to release this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's something that I find very strange. Why in Junkenstein's Revenge are we defending the castle?
Because of the reason.
But it's Junkenstein's castle.
Is it Junkenstein's castle?
Well, it's got the monster in it. It's got his lab in it.
So it does now, doesn't it?
Bloody his castle. So we're meant to be defending the village, but we're nowhere near the village, and we're defending his castle.
It's all a cunning ruse.
Has he forgotten his keys?
We're defending his castle from himself. No, I'll tell you what it is. I've got it. It's because all of his research is in there, and we don't want him converting the rest of the village to Zomniks, so we have to stop him from getting into his own house.
Right.
That's the best I got.
It's tenuous.
I agree. It's the best I got.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of tenuous, this comic presents a tenuous set of events by which you can play Torbjorn, Zenyatta, Widowmaker, and Genji in the Endless mode.
Yes. By the way, I don't recommend Genji on Endless mode once you get multiple, because once you start getting multiple bosses, Genji's damage output on the bosses is not good enough.
What if he uses his ult?
No, it's even worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because the best thing about the Genji ult is the ability to hit multiple targets at once.
Right.
And yeah, it's just not good enough.
Yeah. Although, to counter that, Torbjorn is lordly in this mode.
Absolutely. Torbjorn does work.
Well, I mean, Torbjorn doesn't, but the turret does work.
No. Torbjorn's great because of the armor as well. Because once you start getting like the multiple Symmetras out, the
you build a stock of armor, and you're very, very happy about that.
Absolutely.
Okay. No, okay, I'm behind that. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can recommend.
So yeah, you can totally read up about Junkenstein's story. 35 million players.
It's a big number.
It's
a bigger number than last.
It is. I think we were on 20 million last time, weren't we?
Yeah. Game's still growing is a good thing, especially given that we got Overwatch League coming up.
Although it doesn't really specify what counts as a player. If we go by the old stuff, then it's like basically anyone who's had an account.
Yeah, well, that's always the way with these things, unfortunately.
Yes. What really counts as
a player? Yep.
Who knows?
I have no idea.
Next, forums. There's the offline bug, which we've talked about, and for a little bit, control maps were disabled.
Now, just to remind people,
didn't even notice.
Just to remind people, control maps are King of the Hill maps, not capture point. They're different.
Yeah, control doesn't really... Because, I mean, you're fighting for control in every map.
Yeah,
pretty much. It just so happens one team's defending and one team's attacking.
I don't like the whole control moniker for those.
It's terrible nomenclature.
Yeah. But no, I just don't think it's good for King of the Hill. I think it doesn't add anything. Like, why not just call it King of the Hill? Because that's what every other game calls it. And instead we get control when we've already had control points in previous games. So that's confusing. Why would you do this? Blizzard.
They just have to walk their own path.
I guess.
Yes. So, we have heard word of when the new spectator mode will be active.
Yes, we have.
And it is... Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say what you were going to say, but you go. No,
you say it.
Okay. Well,
no, you say it.
No, you hang up.
No, you hang up. Carry on.
So, Monte Cristo, who is one of the renowned casters of various video games.
Mainly famous for LOL.
Yeah, but really gotten into Overwatch. Doing a lot for Overwatch. Has basically said that we're going to see spectator mode at BlizzCon, which is really quite soon now.
Isn't that... That's not later this month, is it? Or is it just
in November, I think.
Okay.
But theoretically, it will be unveiled alongside the Overwatch World Cup.
Which is exciting.
Like the final cast, with the finals. Yeah, I think it's very exciting. I think everyone seems to be, who has talked about it, who's done casting, has said that the Blizzard team have been really good, that the new mode is much better, and they can't wait to show it off. So I got big hopes.
Well, yes, I'm going to be the voice of caution saying, while I have big hopes, they also have a massive mountain to climb with making Overwatch into a viewable, not confusing experience.
I agree. I really do agree. There are little things, just like the whole particle effects thing of, you've got red versus blue, but some friendly particle effects are still red. And
if they put each team in their team colours, like if they have every character on each team very obviously part of
a team,
like, that'll help a lot.
Yes, and I also think that if those teams have their main particle effects, those colours, that will also help.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Because all with colours for particle effects, all it is a hue shift. So I think it's very possible. Difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work.
I also think that might be confusing for existing players. Like if particle effects are going off in the wrong colours, I think that might be really jarring.
Maybe. I'm not certain about that. I think that, because here's the thing, right? If you've got a team that is red, so let's say we got the Shanghai Dragons against Dallas Fuel, because we know their colours. Fuel is blue, Shanghai Dragons are red.
Yes.
But if they end up in a map where for some reason the Shanghai Dragons get the blue colouring and the Fuel get the red colouring in terms of who's the enemy.
Oh, wait. You don't mean like Zaya's cannon particle effects. You're talking like what, the outline?
I'm talking about I am talking about things like the Zarya particle effects, because things like that they have different colorings for different things, and what you'll end up having is the red team firing blue particle effects and the blue team firing red particle effects.
I must confess, Torbjorn's rivets always confuse me.
Absolutely, all the time.
They streak red across your screen from behind. You're like, oh my god, the other team is. Oh no, it's just Torbjorn with his off-colored gun.
The other one that always gets me is when Winston rages out, because he turns red and he's just this big red thing jumping about the map.
Right, and you're thinking, bad guys are red. Bad guys are red.
Exactly, exactly. I think it's possibly the most egregious error of Overwatch.
Wow. The serious business.
Yeah, no, I think
I will be surprised if they change things like that.
I would be surprised if they change particle effects as well, but I think it would be really good for the player experience overall.
Yeah. And yeah, just imagine like if you could, you're looking at the view from one screen and you'd be able to see like who's shooting where by the colours.
Exactly.
That would actually be kind of crazy and good.
I think it would just add a lot to the experience.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anyway, following on with the comp topic, we now have San Francisco Shock confirmed.
Yes, we did report about this.
It sounds a bit smutty, but maybe that's just me.
It's even smutty when you realise it's Doomfist with the big...
Doomfist there with his massive fist, suggesting to give him the old San Francisco Shock.
That's so going to be a thing, though, isn't it? They gave them the San Francisco Shock. If they whatever the thing that the San Francisco Shock do is going to be called the San Francisco Shock.
Oh, what, the play or whatever?
Yeah, right. Like
maybe
because you know how there's the C9.
Yes.
Well, there'll be the San Francisco Shock. Like just because it's so easy to kind of say that, whereas you're not going to get the fuel. They've done a fuel.
No. Casters are going to be punning this shit up massively. Because, here's the thing. Fuel could be used as an analogy for, ult economy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, no, I agree.
Because Dallas have all the fuel at this point. They're not running out of gas in their tank just yet.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Et cetera.
But there will be a San Francisco Shock play or move or thing that, they do.
Yeah, casters will talk about shock and awe, obviously.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yep.
Can't stop the shock. Can you smell what the shock is cooking?
No. Just, oh God.
There's going to be loads of bad stuff. I think that's going to be the best thing about it all, really. It's the bad puns.
The puns?
Yeah.
No, well, right, here's the thing, that obvious puns. I like bad puns which are really obscure and tenuous. Obvious puns.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll see how they go.
Anyway, talking about bad things, our last topic of the evening is Blizzard suing a Chinese ripoff of Overwatch.
Okay, I've been hyped for this topic all podcast.
I fucking love these shitty ripoffs. They're so good. It's just, they've clearly been shown, right, the designers have been shown, right, we want you to basically do this, but make it a bit different so it looks different. So basically what they've done is, in this particular one, I mean, the story here is just that there's a shonky thing and Blizzard's suing them. Sure, why not? They should. But, oh my God, you've got to watch the video with the McCree with Hanzo's head. And I can't tell if it's like a Genji clone throwing cards at people and it's just such a bad rendition of one of the Ilios maps. But here's the thing, it's just so obviously ripped off. They're not even trying to make it not look ripped off.
No, well, I assume that they just get so many more so many more people buy it if it really looks more like the game, and the further away they get from the game, the less money they make. But yeah, even things like the health packs are just so similar.
Yeah, they're just so clearly ripped off. But here's the thing, this is a mobile game, and that's perhaps why it's quite so shonky. It does kind of show that there is a market for a mobile Overwatch, or at least something to go with it. I
guess.
Because think about it. There's things like there's a new Final Fantasy game, which is some Overwatch. Is it like a cookie clicker?
Oh, I don't know. I've not heard about this.
No, you haven't seen Final Fantasy 15 on mobile devices?
No.
No. Well, that's probably for the best.
Oh, is it that bad?
Yeah. Oh, and did you see the other rip-off that was going around for a bit, where like there was a Mercy who forgot her pants?
What? What?
Right.
Hang on, wait.
Just a Mercy, just like in underpants, skimpy underpants, which sounds like something you'd find on Rule 34 or something.
Oh dear.
But yeah, there's a lot of that.
So I'm just watching some of this gameplay. Like, playing a first-person shooter on mobile just seems like a bad idea, and this is just proving it to me. There's no looking left and right. There's. Oh no, this is just bad.
You'd be pissed if there was a widow on your team.
Yeah, you can't aim.
Okay, let me just see the character select screen and like just go over like the mashup characters here, because it's kind of weirdly fascinating to me at any rate. So they have McCree, who has Hanzo's head because reasons. There's like a very young anime head Soldier 76.
Yeah, with red hair.
Yeah. Then Reinhardt has Zaya's gun.
What? Why? Why does Reinhardt have Zarya's gun?
Because there's a young dude in Reinhardt's armor with a sword being Reinhardt.
Of course. Does he have the shield as well?
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. There's Farah, Farah's Native American costume.
Yes. Okay,
imagine that, taking off all your clothes, giving Hanzo's bow. Shitty not.
Oh dear.
Yeah. In fact, there's loads of videos of weird rip-offs. I just find this so bizarrely fascinating. I don't know why.
There's not really anything that good about it in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand why. They must make money off this stuff, but I'm just surprised.
Yeah, otherwise, how's it happening, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like the production values are that shit.
Well, it looks like a game from...
Don't get me wrong, they're not good, but there's like a lot of games on Steam with worse production values, right?
Yes, no, that is true. There are worse clones out there.
Yeah, it's a strange thing.
It just reminds me of how good the actual game is. They did a great job of this game.
Yes, most definitely.
Talking of that, do you want to go play it?
Yes, on that self-congratulatory...
Congratulatory.
Conjugation? No. What's the thing when... conjugal, that's the one.
Consecration?
Self-conjugal rightsing. I don't even... Look, I've been Ruskeydoo.
I've been Grey.
And we'll see you next time.